My name's Darcie, I'm 23 and I was in care for 3 years and I've been independent for 5 years. I think the biggest issue I'm facing right now is accommodation and just finding something stable, just finding something that I can stay in long term because I've got some health issues that are making things quite hard. My experience of transitioning is quite a weird one because I went from being in a residential to a foster family. So instead of being quite from residential to independent, I was with a family and then I went independent. I think it's good and bad. I think it's bad as in I wasn't entitled to a lot of things that other young people are and should be and have to be. One of the biggest rights that young people have is the Charter of Rights, and that explains what they're entitled to. The planning for me started a couple of weeks before I actually transitioned out of care, which for me was really rushed and I didn't like that very much, but because I didn't know anybody else who was actually in care, I didn't know what I was entitled to. One thing that worked for me transitioning is my foster family and the department working together. My goal is to finish my Bachelor of Behavioural Science and to eventually work with young people. I'm pretty proud that I'm finishing my degree because I came from being homeless to now having somewhere stable and studying. So yeah, I'm pretty happy. I think for me, independent was turning 18 and then finding somewhere to live. That's what it meant for me. I think transitioning from care needs to be extended longer and not be so rushed. I think even if you are transitioning from a residential to a family or a residential to independence, and everything needs to get mapped out and what's plan B if plan A doesn't work. Biggest piece of advice would be ask as many questions as possible, and as well as thinking about the basics, having somewhere safe to live, having some money.